Hey everyone, Laurel here, and today I'm going to attempt to make 5 cards in 5 minutes. You believe I can do it? Well, let's see.
All right, let's get ready to get that ticker, countdown, time code, whatever you want to call it. Let's slap it on the screen and go with it. This is a piece of masking tape. I'm just kind of putting it on my arm to kind of remove some of the stickiness so it doesn't tear my paper. And then I've got 4 colors of colored ink on my desk along with the black ink. So I'll be using those 5 colors. And I grabbed some stamps that were in the bin that I keep next to my desk. And that bin has either new things that have come in I need to use or things I went as I was purging and said, oh, I've got to use this. Why haven't you used this? So everything goes in that bin, and that's what I pulled from. So there are 3 stamp sets, I believe, in that bin. So once I ink blended on that color, I'll quickly peel up, or not quickly, don't do it quick or you're going to tear your cardstock. Just gently peel up your tape. And then this is a stamp, I believe it's a iris. And all the very few supplies that I'm using, they're going to be repetitive because I'm trying to make 5 cards in 5 minutes, but I'll have them listed in the description for you. Then I'll go ahead and ink this up. First I went in with a light gray ink, and then I thought that just was not going to show on the card, so I'm going right over it with the black ink. Now, normally I would have edited this out, and I wish I could have, but I didn't. I'm trying to stay true to myself and the time code or counter or whatever we're calling this thing. I could not find my Misty stamping tool, so I'm having to use this incredibly heavy acrylic block, which was a struggle for me every single time I used it. But anyway, so I went ahead and stamped that. Now I'm looking for a sentiment, and I'm going to pick that up with another acrylic block because God knows, well, with my sentiments, I would have used an acrylic block anyway, but with the bigger stamps, I would have totally used my Misty if I knew where it was. So that's going to complete this first card here, card number 1 done. And I do not know why that took 2 minutes, probably fiddling around looking for inks and blocks. So next up is swinking. It's a word I made up called inking and swiping. It's a word that I just 2 words I combined. I have an entire video with so many swinking techniques that I'll put in the description below and also in the info tab in the top right hand corner if you want to see multiple ways to swink. I just love saying swinking. If you're watching on a device of some kind, I don't think you can see the info tab, so be sure to click the link in the description if you want to see a whole bunch of fun swinking techniques. All right, so this second card is almost done. I swinked on a couple colors. I stamped a floral image. Now I'm stamping this sentiment, all using the 4 ink colors I have on my desk. Here was 20 seconds wasted trying to figure out if that was a good ink color to use. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Good grief. I am now finished with my second card. I have 3 more to go, you guys. I don't know if I'm going to pull this off. But God knows I'm going to try. All right, this is a piece of watercolor cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and ink up the same iris stamp with that. And I'm going to press it onto my watercolor cardstock with this heavy, heavy acrylic block that I just wish I didn't have to use, but I'm not going to say that anymore because y'all are going to be sick of hearing me complain. And then that stamp set has a little tiny iris as well, so I'm going to ink that up and kind of slap it down here. Now wait till you see what I do here. This is probably my favorite card, and it's basically a 2-step process. Stamp it, spray it with water, and you're done. Think how many cards you could make. Maybe I should have made 5 of these, and I could have had this video done in 60 seconds. But anyway, so again, I'm going to find a place to put the sentiment. Now, I don't stamp this sentiment straight because I'm trying to rush here, but we'll go back at the end of the video and fix this up just a little bit because right now the sentiment's just like hanging out there, but whatever. We're moving on to the next card. This, we're going to go ahead and ink it up with 2 different color inks that I have on my desk here, so you're going to get yourself a 2-toned floral here. I think these are anemones. Oh my gosh, we're at the 4-minute mark, you guys. This is my 4th card. So I inked that up. I sprayed it with water. I'm going to press down. Make sure you spray it with water. That is also watercolor cardstock, by the way. And then this is a little bonus, so I don't think this should count in the time, but it's going to. But anyway, this is a text stamp I found. I inked it up with a very light color on my desk, and then I'm just going to press that card into that. Make sure you use a light colored ink because it's going to create this beautiful soft text background in the background there. Very pretty. Here's my last card. So this piece of cardstock I found. I folded it. I didn't do a good job folding it, so my fold and my crease is ugly, so I'm going to flip it over. Then I'll cheat and get the good, nice, pretty crease on the outside. Gonna grab that same text stamp. Oh my gosh, we're at 4.5 minutes, dear Lord. Okay, so we're gonna ink this up. I'm just kind of inking it, whatever. I'm going to press my card onto that inked background. I chose a bright color for the text since I'm using a piece of colored cardstock here. And I'm going to carefully lift it up, and I dropped it. Then I'm going to go around the edges and I'm going to ink blend a little bit. That is the same ink that I had left over from the ink blended card I did for the first card. And we're at 5 minutes. I want to cry. But anyway, I got almost finished with the 5th card. Almost. Anyway, I'm going to keep going with it, but I'm going to go ahead and stamp this iris onto this background. Oh, I hate when I don't win. I'm defeated. But here I am just stamping the 2 irises just like that. And then, of course, I've got to add a sentiment, so I'm going to find a place for a sentiment. I have my magic mug that is filled with so many die cuts and so many fun images that I could have done for all of these cards, but I wanted these all to be one layer, all made with stamps, so here you go. So that card's finished. However, it's crooked. So what I do when I stamp crooked, I could have just gone over this with a sentiment strip and popped it up with some foam dimension and covered up that hello that I stamped, but instead I'm just going to add a couple lines. I just grabbed a piece of cardstock out of the trash, and I'm going to add a couple lines here, and that'll make the hello look a lot more straight. And then that beautiful watercolor card that we created, I think it was card number 3. My fingers are so inky, I'm trying to show you. But I'm going to go ahead and add a little something here, because at this point that hello is just like sitting there. It looks kind of weird. So I'm going to press that onto my glass surface. I've got a paintbrush here. I'm just going to kind of do a couple of water flicks with my paintbrush of that same green ink that we used to stamp the iris flower. And then I'll take a little bit of that watercolor after I'm satisfied with the flick marks, and I'll kind of create a little, little base, little something for that the hello's sitting on, so it's not just like floating out in the middle of nothing. Creates a little shadow, and really that simple, quick little technique finished it off. So here's 5 cards. Sadly, I did not make them in 5 minutes, but I think I made them in 6.5 minutes. Does that count? Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Sadie's at least happy for me. She's like, you did good, you tried your best, and that's all we can ask for. So 5 really pretty cards, I think, gosh, it sounds so much cooler if you say 5 cards in 5 minutes, but we're going to say 5 cards in 6.5 minutes. Let's roll with that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.